I'm glad that you guys, I'm glad you guys all joined today. This webinar, I kind of really wanted to put this one towards the beginning of this session. Well, not really the beginning, but the placement of it is perfect because you're about a month in if you're new, and if you have been with me longer. I just posted on Facebook really quick. This is for all levels. I mean, this is when I put this slideshow together, I was even reminding myself, like, you know, I'm the specialist, and I'm typing this up going, oh yeah, you know, these are all things that we all do that trip us up when it comes to weight loss. And when it comes to staying on a path and staying on a journey. And that is really the hardest part. And looking back at my career and looking back at all the people that I've helped, I have to say that the point of dropping is that frustration point, and being able to avoid that. And I see who's here with me now, and you're all at you know, at different levels. But you know, we have people that have lost weight, gained some back, lost weight, gained it all back, just starting to lose weight, just starting to understand, you know, all of this. And it's a lot. And so I wanted to put a quick little presentation together to remind us of what is really needed to be successful in a program. And it's not so much protein grams and fat grams, and of course we pay attention to all of that. But it's kind of like the outskirts of things that I think the light bulb will go on when we go through this together. So, okay, so I'm gonna go through the presentation, and then I'd love to have some chat time after. I kind of built this webinar so that it wouldn't be as long as some of the others, so that we could have an open forum for some questions and even just some reflections on what you think of certain points of the presentation. So I'm obviously still very dehydrated from this weekend, so I will be taking lots and lots of water breaks. So excuse all the pauses. I should have brought a straw. So I am going to share my screen here, and weight loss mistakes. Obviously, when we lose weight, it's never going to be flawless. Nothing that we ever do is flawless, but with weight loss, it's so easy to just give up. When we are signing up for another degree, and we've invested all this money and we've put ourselves into school, it's not as easy to quit. So we tend to hang on longer. When we bring a baby home from the hospital and we want to send it back, we can't. And so it forces us to have to learn the right things to do to get it right. But with weight loss, it's just easy to quit. It's easy to surrender. It's easy to say, I'm broken. There's something wrong with me, whether it's physiological or psychological, that you can't lose weight. And it's all completely in your hands. And those of you that have seen success or are seeing success or are on your way to that path can certainly understand what that feels like when you start to really feel good about yourself, and then just like that, it can turn. And in the past, we typically throw all of our progress away. And there's people here right now that are teetering, who've lost weight and are like on that brink of wanting to throw in the towel. And it happens all day long to everyone. And I want to start by saying that don't fool yourself in thinking that struggle will ever go away. You're always going to have that guard up of fear that you're going to gain that weight back. So when you have that fear, don't mistake it for it happening again. Look at it from a different perspective, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. All right, so top 10 things to avoid for weight loss. Okay, so first of all, only focusing on the scale weight. And I know that this is a hard one because I do require or ask you all to weigh yourselves every single day. But it is so utterly important that we don't just focus on that scale for many reasons. And I'm not talking about the reasons of the scale going down. I'm not talking about the fluctuations. We've had lessons on that before. I'm talking about what that scale says. So often we are driven by a number that really does mean nothing to us. We have this number in our heads from whatever reason. Maybe you hit a low once before, and now you're fixated on that number. And maybe that number was a completely dehydrated, not for you number, and you're up 5 pounds, and you're so focused on the scale, and it's derailing you. Instead of focusing on, look at all of the things that you have changed in your life. I get texts daily from hundreds of people that will be upset over a half of a pound going up, but then don't stop and reflect at all of the changes that they've made. So it's so hard not to focus on that scale because we're driven to. I'd be lying if I didn't say I got home from the race and weighed myself right away because I was curious, and I was up 5 pounds, by the way. So you know, we focus on it, we fixate on it, but just remember, it is how you feel, how you look, and what the scale says. And furthermore, oftentimes, and I just had this conversation with somebody that lost 20 pounds, but she still weighs 200, and she's a tier 3 member, and her frustration was that she's happy. She's in her 30s and she's like, I lost 25 pounds. I'm happy right here. I feel stressed to keep going. And how do you look? How do you feel? What does the scale say? If you don't have any medical issues holding you back, my advice to her and to anybody listening is don't rush it. Stay where you are for a little bit, enjoy it, and then let it go down some more. We're programmed to think that when we diet, it has to be this just drop. And nowhere does it say, or is it written, that it can't be a gradual one. And a gradual one is going to be more sustainable. This is a huge one. Eating too many or too few calories. Okay, so obviously the too many, we all know that. But the too few calories. I can't tell you how often I look at people's logs who take it upon themselves to start eliminating calories because the scale's stuck. And so instead of being practical and looking at it as a behavioral thing, meaning maybe you're not doing all the right things, people start taking calories and meals out. And one thing I do have to say, and this is where some of you that have been with me for a while, if you want to take notes so you don't forget to chime in for this, this program is going to increase your metabolic rate. And if you keep taking calories away, thinking that you're going to get there faster, you might get there faster for a minute, but then it's all going to just come back, because the point is increasing your metabolic rate. The other thing is eating too many calories, and I should have reworded it. It's not about the calories, and you guys know that last week's webinar was all about that. It was about having the right type of calories. So don't have the knee-jerk reaction of pulling calories away if you had a bad eating night. I had a member who's a loyal member now text me once, and this was the best text ever. She said, I'm coming clean. She goes, I just ate a bag of Chex Mix for lunch because I decided to be an idiot and skip breakfast because I overate last night. So the text said it all. She did what we all do. We overeat, then we decide, well, I'm not going to eat breakfast and I'm not going to eat lunch. And then lunchtime happens, you're starving, and there's a thing of Chex Mix. So if you do have a bad eating night, back on schedule, don't deplete. Your metabolism can't handle that, okay? This is a huge one. We overestimate how many calories we burn and underestimate how many calories we eat. I mean, this is so famous, but it's so utterly sad, actually, because you know, we focus on what our devices say, and now everybody has them between the watches and the you know, the computers on the treadmills and that, and they're not accurate. We don't know what they really burn. You could take someone like me. My watch said I burned 10,000 calories during my race. I actually hit 10. I would have been mad if I hadn't hit 10. I was up at 9 and I hit 10. It doesn't matter. It did nothing to me. I did not actually lose anything because I am in that type of condition. My body's used to it. Now, if I grabbed one of you guys out of the crowd and threw you in a running regimen like mine, you'd be dropping weight like crazy because it's something different. So the metabolism is a very interesting and complex, multi-dimensional phenomenon, really. So just because you burn a ton of calories and you lose weight doing spin class the first year, and then the next year your watch says you still burn 600, you may not have burned 600 because our bodies adapt to the condition that we're in. Otherwise, you know, someone like me would be skeletal. I would have I would be just bones and not able to function. And then on the other side, we always underestimate. I mean, the calories are ridiculous. You know, we pick up things that we don't even realize are loaded in calories. If there's no label on it, we tend to kind of dismiss it and go, oh, well, it can't be that bad. But when we don't pay attention to it, and I'm telling you, anybody that has been successful, has lost weight, kept it off, they are calorie Nazis. I mean, you are figuring out every which way to know what you are getting in your body, because it's easy to just look away and go, can't be that bad. They must be baked. You can't assume. That's where we get into trouble. And now we go to the gym, we burn 400 calories when we really didn't burn 400, and we stop off and have a latte that was 300. It's a wash. And you're never going to see progress with this. Initially, yes, when you exercise, you will see a loss because your body's adapting. But this is why I don't, unless you're an athlete, you don't eat your calories back if you're trying to lose weight. Your body fat is what is your energy source. And so often I have people that will say, well, I did evolve, so I had an extra 2 muffins, and I'm like, that squares it away, especially when you're trying to lose weight. So, all right, next one, not exercising or exercising too much. Okay, so this is a big whoa, because I know that there's a lot of people that exercise. If you are someone that loves to exercise, you're a junkie. You know, you're somebody that just, you know, loves to cycle, loves to do classes. You're not even doing it so much for the calories. You're doing it because of how it makes you feel, how it makes you look. You do have to feel more. Could I get, I have some of you that aren't muted. I don't know if oh, here we go. I don't know if I could mute everybody from my end here. So if you exercise too much, you do have to eat back some of those calories. And I'm talking somebody that exercises a lot, an hour a day, burns 1,000 calories a day. You have to compensate. So if you exercise too much and you're fueling too much, then you're not going to lose weight. If you're somebody that's at your optimal weight and you're exercising a ton and you're refueling with it and your weight's staying the same, your metabolism's fine. But if you're somebody that is like, I'm going to the gym every day, I'm going to work out an hour till my watch says I burned 600, you are putting yourself in 2 positions that aren't favorable to you. One, can you maintain that regimen? Big eye opener. Do not start something you can't finish. So I can't tell you how many people get into this workout high and then they're working out 6-7 days a week, and then life happens and then they go back to their 3-day a week and now their body's used to the 7. So don't set yourself up for failure. Do the right amount that you are comfortable with, because you don't want to overstep. And I'm not saying to not go out and have an active day, but don't dive into exercise thinking that that's going to be the way that you're going to lose weight. Exercise should be for your mindset. It should be for your energy. It should be for kicking those cravings away. It should not be for you to think that you get calories back if you're losing weight. All right, big one, not lifting weights. Again, I blame the way we're cultured and the devices and all the calorie burning. I am I shouldn't say a former cardio junkie. I just ran 100 miles, but I used to just do cardio. That's it. And then my weight was going nowhere. And everything you read says lift weights, lift weights. Well, who wants to lift weights for an hour and see that you burned 111 calories? That's all I was looking at. And that's all a lot of people look at, but very wrong, because the more muscle you have, the faster your metabolism is, the more you burn. So lifting weights, even minimally 2 to 3 times a week, is going to be beneficial to you. And I'm here to tell you, as somebody that just turned 51, and it has a muscular frame, your skin and your muscle tone is at a certain age, you start really losing that tightness, no matter how muscular you are. So if you aren't exercising now, start incorporating it. And my workouts are short. And if you're not doing mine, 15 minutes, grab some weights. Before I started back to running and I was just boggled down with work, I had weights set down right here by my desk. And I actually did a podcast called Don't Be a Desk Potato or something, I called it. And every time I got up to go to the bathroom, I would walk to the bathroom and do bicep curls. And then on the way back, I would do shoulder presses. And you know what, call me crazy, but it kept me toned. I didn't actually do a formal half-hour workout, but every time I got up, I would do 10 squats, some punches, sit up straight. These things all make a difference. So if you're not lifting weights, start incorporating it. And if you don't know where to start, just text me and I will direct you exactly to which workout to start with, which reminds me, tomorrow I am going to switch the Ignite to Empower. So Empower is going to be is the one with a little bit of cardio in there too. So if you have not done that, I know you will love it, and I will get a new one up this week as well. All right, so that is lifting weights. And don't think that lifting weights is going to make you bulky. You would have to lift a lot of weight, heavy weight, and eat like a ton of food to get beefy. Lifting weights is not going to turn you into a he-woman. So don't be worried about that. Okay, this is the biggest one. This is the biggest one of all. We're 22 minutes in, and I love this one. So before I present it to you, I want you to just take a quick minute and just think about all of the things that you did today that contributed to your health, your wellness, part of this program, just silently to yourself. Maybe you logged, maybe you journaled, you texted me, you exercised, just the list goes on. So now I want you to define your purpose and why are you doing this? And it might be selfish reasons. You want to look hot in your bikini next summer. Or it might be because your doctor told you. So yeah, could I get, I have somebody else that needs to, if we don't mind all silencing, I can't silence on my end when I'm sharing. If you could just think about why you're doing this. What is your purpose? Okay, and now I'll kind of bring you back to me. And the obvious is you want to feel better. You want to look better. You're tired of the way you have gotten. You want to go back to the way you felt when you were thinner. You're tired of the way that you're eating. The list goes on. Your doctor isn't happy with your with your weight. You're becoming a health risk. You're getting, stress from family. Your body's breaking down because of the extra weight. These are all reasons. But the one reason that people never think about, and this is the biggest one of all, is changing your identity. And so if this confuses you, it confused me at first. So I'm going to kind of go back and share a time in my life when I wasn't fit and I wasn't a healthy eater and all that. I wanted to be. I went through the motions every day. I got my little food scale back then. It wasn't digital. It was one of those little rocky ones. I had, my journal. I weighed myself. I did it all. I went through the motions every day, and then I would slip and fail. And I would go through the motions every day and slip and fail. But I would thrive to be this person. And I would see other people and I would be envious of them who just had it together. They knew what to eat. They had their exercise down. They loved going to the gym. They were fit. They weren't struggling like I was. I didn't once think about the fact that they had to go through all of this to get there too. And obviously, I had to get there. So some of you had to get there, but changing your identity is the biggest key here. Because when somebody joins a program, does something, and is on this quest to lose weight because of a vacation, or because they're tired of the way they feel, but yet they're still, sneaking cookies, or, not really loving any of it and pushing themselves to exercise and not really putting their heart into it, you're not changing your identity. And when I have conversations with people that have had their identity changed, this is what I say to them. I say to them, what do people at work think of you now? And that is usually the tell-all. When other people will look at you and go, she's healthy. She's a healthy person. She would never bring crap.
That beef stew almost done.
Yep. I'm sorry. Someone has their mic on and I can't tell who it is. It's just, can I get everyone to mute? Oh, here we go. Okay. So when you look at somebody else and you say they're the healthy person, they've become that person because they've peeled all the layers of going through the motions, and they actually like it. They want to do it. It's them now. You're not forcing Kelly. I'm going to pick on you because you're an ambassador. You're not forcing Kelly to bring, a healthy snack to a party. She wants to. Like, that is her now. That's her identity. But if you're somebody that is still struggling and going to parties and going, well, I'm going to bring the cheese curds because it's the weekend. You haven't changed your identity. You need to stop and think about who you want to become. You want to be that healthier person, and it will just happen. One day you'll realize you're not even on a program anymore because the program is you. And that's a huge focus. So if you're going through the motions, just going through the motions every day, Irene says I have to log. There's 8 more weeks left in this program. I got to keep doing this for 8 more weeks. You're not changing your identity. You could be a runner because you went out and ran a couple days a week, or you could be a runner because you love to run. You will run in no matter what the weather is. You could be an artist because you pick up crayons and scribble. You're not an artist. You're an artist when you think and breathe and love art. When you look at a rock and go, I want to draw this. Do you see the difference? So start thinking about what your purpose is, and you're going to want it that much more. You're not going to want to veer off the plan, because that is going to be the new you. And you'll establish yourself as this person, which then you'll inspire others, which will help you maintain that. So that is a really, really big one. So if you're struggling, think about, what is your purpose? Why are you doing this? And is it changing you? Because it should change you. It shouldn't just be on the outside. It should be on the inside. If you're eating food you don't like, you're forcing them down because you're making you lose weight, you better text me. We got to find something else, because it's not going to work. If you're at the gym crying every day on the treadmill with your head down, like rolling your eyes, it's not going to work. Don't force it. It needs to be something you love. And so that is what my program's all about. All right, protein, obviously. Flipping back to the concrete things, we need to have protein. And I think you guys are awesome. I have you all programmed. I'm getting texts from tier 1 people saying, I'm confused, which one is the protein in this meal? Or I have this with me at a hotel room. How could I add protein to this? It is huge. And it is what is going to increase your metabolic rate. It's going to decrease your appetite. It's going to make you full, and it's going to keep the weight off. Now, oftentimes it's very easy to pull protein out of your meal because if you're not a big meat eater, it's super easy. I'll just not put chicken on my salad. But when you do that, just remember, it's about your metabolism. It's about the quality, and it's not about the calories. And it doesn't matter what your protein source is, as long as it's a protein. Another big one that we have not discussed yet a lot is fiber. Eating enough fiber will help you eat less, but it also will absorb calories, and it actually absorbs sugar from other foods. So take an avocado, for example. An avocado, if you look it up, has a lot of, it does have a lot of carbs, but it's all fiber. And so you subtract the fiber grams from the carb grams, making that an ideal source. Each gram of fiber will take a gram of sugar, and it'll like negate it, dissipate it. So beans, when you look at beans and you go, oh my God, they have so much carbs. No, because you're subtracting the fiber, and the fiber is going to keep you full. Hang on one second, just because I really don't want to have this recording. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that. And so some things about fiber, since I lost my screen there, some things about fiber that you should know is there's fibrous foods, and then there is non-soluble fibers, like the fiber drinks and the shakes and the like the Metamucils and stuff. Now those will help with constipation, and those are still fiber. But when I say fiber, I mean get it in your food. Look for fibrous foods. Your broccoli, your vegetables, your beans, your legumes. Those are all going to have fibers. And shockingly, again, an avocado is hugely high in fiber. So it's kind of the roughage. As far as white bread versus wheat bread, the controversy: white rice, brown rice, is it better for you? The only difference is it has fiber, more fiber. And so the fiber, again, is going to absorb the carbohydrates. So you're getting that benefit, but not a ton, not enough for me to say, if you're going out for Chinese food, to order brown rice. It's that minimal. I would rather see you order broccoli, or have some bran, or something that's got a lot more fiber. And if you're a tier 2 person, we're going to start really paying attention to the fiber in your MyFitnessPal or MyNet diary, and anybody really can, but the ideal number of grams of fiber is about 25. Now I should warn you, more is not necessarily great. I have people that are like, oh, this is great. Fiber is low calorie. I'm getting 60, 70 grams. All of a sudden they can't go to the bathroom because too much fiber will actually bind you, which is contrary to what you would think. But it's roughage. It will literally puff up in your stomach, and now you're clogged. So you got to be really careful with not getting too much. So keep it around 25 to even 40 is a healthy amount. And again, your fruits are going to have fiber, the ones with seeds. So that's why on your meal plan, you'll notice all the berries are on there. Next come apple, and then pear is actually very high in fiber, but the rest of them have no fiber. So you're not getting that elimination of sugar. So I'm going to go back to my screen here. Oh, that's my schedule. We don't want to see that. And there we go. I don't know why it's not coming up. I'll try it again. All right, so the next slide, I love when this happens. Here we go. Is, what do we got here? Fiber, okay. Not too much fat and not low carb diet. I'm pretty proud of myself that I have gotten all of you off of the low carb kick. Most people will start up by saying they're afraid of carbs, they don't want to eat carbs. Too much carbs is not good. Too much fat is not good. However, the right carbs and the right fats are what you need. So contrary to what everybody thinks, eating a rice cake or having 2 slices of bread on your sandwich is not going to harm you. It's actually what you need. It's what you need. It's when we sit down and we have a bowl of spaghetti. A typical bowl of spaghetti is over 1,000 calories. I had a client over here who's in the program that was so carb phobic. And after COVID lifted, I had her over for her one-on-one, and we looked at her MyFitnessPal, and she was eliminating carbs. And I kept telling her, you need carbs. So I went in my pantry and I grabbed how many strands of spaghetti equaled 30 grams of carbs. It was pathetic, I must say. It was like spaghetti noodles, maybe a diameter the size of a nickel. It's it. So, you know, I'm not asking you to eat a lot of carbs, but you know the magic number, 30 to 40 per meal. But if you sit down and have a bowl of pasta at a restaurant, you're looking at 300. And so there's the difference. So putting the carb with the fat is going to help you. And then obviously, if people that are on a keto diet, the reason that the keto diet works is because we're depleting your body of carbohydrates and your energy source is fat. But the problem is the sustainability of that and being able to endure a diet like that for life. All right, big one.
Irene, we can't see your screen.
Oh, really? I'm glad you interrupted me. What do you see? Just me?
Yeah, it says Irene has started screen sharing, but it's just black.
You still don't see it?
No, it's just black.
Okay, let me stop the share here. Okay, let's try this again. Screen share. See it?
Yep, all good.
Okay, all right. Mindless eating. We've all done it. You're not hungry, you just start grazing on stuff. And certainly if we don't log it, we don't see it. One of the bigger things that I have encountered with people switching over to the other app is the other app doesn't let you put in snacks, divide your snacks like MyFitnessPal does. And at first it really bothered me because when I look at your logs, I like seeing what you ate in the morning, what you ate, and you know, it's broken apart. But the new app, their philosophy behind it is it's timestamped. So when you put in that you ate, it automatically dumps in the time that you ate it. So if I pick up, you know, this cheese and I eat it at 3:34 and I enter it, then it's going to enter it that I consumed it at that time. You could still change the time. So if you're somebody that logs later, you can go back and change the time. But what I like about that is the amount of mindless eating that contributes to the over consumption of calories is insane. I'm doing another sugar addiction workshop coming up, and we did some activities that were that really enlightened the group. And they didn't even realize how much sugar they were taking in mindlessly because we're just on autopilot. If you're somebody that talks on the phone and you're munching, those are all habits you have to extinguish. So big thing, huge research. You are apt to increase your caloric intake by 30% if you are eating in front of a television, because you're just not paying attention. You know, you're not paying attention to how full you are. You're not paying attention to how you're picking things off the plate. You're not paying attention to your pacing. You're just eating, you're watching TV and you're eating. And you aren't in tuned to how full you are. Same thing goes really when you dine with others. You know, you're socializing and you're not paying attention. So when you are eating alone, a huge thing is be mindful of how you feel, and stop when you're full. I don't think Laura is on here tonight, but I had a gal that lost close to 30 pounds. She's a tier 3 person. And I had a meeting with her the other day and I said, and when she started, she looked at me flat out and said, I have tried everything and I cannot lose a pound. And so at our Zoom session the other day, I'm like, all right, I just got to know. I mean, obviously we talk every day, but like, what was the difference? And she said that she now stops when she's full. We crave that full tummy feeling. We're conditioned to do that. And learning to walk away when you're not is huge. And also learning not to go too long between meals is huge, because that's when the mindless munching happens. I'm often asked, do I have to have my snack? I'm not hungry. And the answer is, well, if you're not hungry at 10:30, what happens at 1 o'clock? Because at 1 o'clock, if you're eating your salad and then your kids' crusts, and then that was a bad idea. So it's not even about eating when you're hungry. It's about timing yourself so that you don't ever get to that point of hunger where you are mindlessly munching. And I don't say this enough, but I have said this to some people that have come back and thanked me for it. So I'll add it to this presentation. When you're hungry, and like right now, you know, some of us are going to go eat dinner after this. The very first thing that touches your taste buds, your brain, your taste buds, your digestive enzymes, all of it is going to be more apt to want those flavors. It is just what happens. So if I were to go upstairs right now and I'm hungry and I pick up cheese and crackers, then I'm on the cheese and crackers. There's no stopping me. My taste buds have been suited to that. If I take a bite of the dinner that I made first, and have gotten all my taste buds acclimated to that, I'm less apt to attack the cheese and crackers. And so when you go to a party and there's a buffet and you're like, well, I'm just going to have one chip with just a little guacamole, just get out of the way, first one, bad idea. Because now you're conditioned to that. So first thing, grab something that's going to turn you the other way. And remember that, because that whole, I'm just going to have one cracker, it never works out. I mean, we know that, we go into it time and time again, and it never works out. So logging is huge, because then you know exactly what you're taking in. And then not being mindless is another one. And there's been tons and tons of studies done with people that don't pay attention. Studies done at restaurants where staff is asked to take away chicken wing debris, and the patrons will eat double or triple the amount if it's free night, because they don't see the bones. So be conscious of all those things, because that is going to help a lot in the end, in the big picture. All right, this is Unrealistic Randy. We haven't introduced him yet to anybody. You need to set realistic expectations, because setting your goals too high is going to cause you to get frustrated. I think I'm pretty open when people sign up for this program to say it's slow and steady. This is an education. I'm teaching you. I'm changing your metabolism. This is not a beach body, Barbie body in 10 days fix, because it is you're going to blow yourself out. It will work, but it never will last. So set yourself up with small expectations. And if that means you just want to lose 5 pounds, you just want to get rid of that bloat, that's your first stepping stone, and then get there. And then when you get there, set the next one. I want to start walking every day. Set that at that stepping stone. When we start a program, we right away, and I see it all the time, signing up for the channel, buying all the gear, psycho with the calories, but then 2 weeks later, nothing. So ease into it, acclimate, like going into a really cold bath, just slowly get into it. And then it won't be as shocking. And it will increase your chances of keeping the weight off forever. Obviously not tracking what you eat in any way. There's obviously we have the food trackers, but the reason I stuck this slide in here is because even though we're tracking, I should almost do a presentation of all of the things I see that aren't right on People's Fitness Pals, because there's a lot of manipulation that goes on that maybe we're not even aware of. I've seen it happen. I see it happen all the time, where somebody will have a 1,500 calorie budget and miraculously the apple that they had at lunch happened to be 46 calories, which made it be right exactly at their cap. You're only lying to yourself when you do stuff like that. So track everything and know what it's worth, because your setbacks are going to be your own fault. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your metabolism. Your intake might be too high, which again, the avalanche starts. Your intake's too high. Now you're feeling crummy about yourself. You're fatigued. You think something's wrong with you. You're going to get your thyroid checked for the 3rd time. I mean, we just keep doing these things. But instead, pay attention to your intake. And as soon as you do, it's golden. And I've shared before in 2016, when my weight went up, I tracked one day all of my mindless eating, and it was 800 calories a day, every day that I was just mindlessly eating, between Jolly Ranchers and peanut butter and almonds and cheese. I mean, nothing terrible. You never saw me at Taco Bell, but it was 800 some calories every day. And I lost 20 pounds really fast as soon as I saw that. And it's hard to put something on the food scale and go, I only get 8 almonds, what the, but if you want this to work, lying to yourself about it isn't going to help. And drinking your calories, of course. Kelly, I did not put this in for you.
Har har.
I'm kidding.
No, you did. I know.
No, I didn't. No, it's interesting because I, as you know, in the onboarding guide, I have a drinking section, but I laugh because I always have people, they'll get up to signing up and they'll be all ready to go with, okay, tell me how to pay. And then right before they do that, they'll go, so one thing, is it okay if I, and I'm like, oh yeah, you could drink. Of course you can drink. It's part of the sustainability. This is your life, but you should pay attention to what you're drinking, and you should minimize it because they are calories, and they're it's hard to wrap your brain around because you're not chewing it. Same with watermelon. People seem to think that that's like a free food because it's water, and it's not. Anything you consume has calories. And so you should pay attention to it. And again, back to logging. I know I hear this a lot. Well, I don't know how many calories my beer has. I don't know how many calories my wine has. Well, the scanner on the wine bottle will scan on MyFitnessPal. And you can take that to Binny's and scan all the vodka bottles you want and discover which ones are higher and lower. Don't be mindless about it. You can drink, but keep it within your calories. Simple. I had a gal who she's a loyal member now, and she dropped probably 30 pounds. She's under 120 now, which is a great weight for her because she's short. But when she started, it was a third of her intake a day was wine. And I know that sounds like a lot, but let's just stop. If you're on 1,400 calories a day, 30% of that is 300, 400 calories. I think a lot of you have probably hit that here and there, a glass of wine here, a martini here. I mean, when you sit down and I pulled up her MyFitnessPal and I highlighted it all like I do, like a crazy person. And I was like, a third is booze, babe. And so she just scaled back and she kept losing. And now she's having the time of her life drinking what she wants because she knows how to fit it in. And she knows not to let that scale go past a certain number. So don't be fooled by that. And then don't be fooled with what comes after that. And then huge one, just because it's healthy. You could eat a bowl of quinoa with some hummus and avocado and an egg on that, and that could be 900 calories. And I realize that those are all the nutrients that you need. They're going to give you all these wonderful things that are going to make you thrive and your skin glow. But when you're trying to lose weight, eating, a cup of quinoa with a full avocado and an egg, and then having a bowl of cherries, and it doesn't matter. Healthy is healthy. And when I said I gained 20 pounds in 2016, it was peanut butter, it was almonds. I was making bowls of oatmeal, not measuring, and it was just, I thought it healthy. Nope. So it is about, as you know, the balance, and don't be fooled for 1 second grabbing something on the go thinking, oh, well, this is a lettuce wrap. The veggie unwich at Jimmy John's is the highest calorie one there, because of the cheese and the mayonnaise and the avocado spreading stuff they put on there. It's all healthy, but it's the highest calorie one there. So just be careful with that. And then huge one, falling into old patterns, assuming that the ball will drop. We do this all the time. We just kind of wait. We spiral and we wait, like something will happen. I'll get that kick and something will happen. And we fall into our old patterns slowly. And I see it happen with you guys. I see it all the time. I watch it slowly happening. And I will call you out if I see it happening. And I will if you've had me call you out on it before. But what I mean by old patterns, not measuring as well as you used to, not documenting everything as well as you used to, maybe not working out as intensely, but in your brain, you're still going through the motions. You're going through all the motions. So it appears as if you're doing everything right, but nothing's happened. And nothing will change, of course, because if you're just going through the motions without any follow through or articulation, then you're sitting in the same exact spot. And this happens a ton. I just did my last podcast on it, just going through the motions. I'm on a diet day in, day out, but really not doing anything. Falling into your habits. And then, of course, you guys know the fluctuations that can happen. And I just discovered, I did a lot of documenting, and the average person will fluctuate about 30 times in the loss of 20 pounds, which is crazy. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down, and you just have to get used to those fluctuations. I'm up 5 pounds from running 100 miles, for God's sakes. If that's not the most sad, evil, pathetic thing you've ever heard in your life, but obviously it's water. It's, and you have to become in tune to that. So the reason I have you weigh is if you eat a big bowl of shrimp tonight, shrimp is high in sodium, and you weigh 2 pounds more tomorrow, it was the shrimp. I have conversations like this with people all the time. I'm up, I ate everything healthy. What did you eat yesterday? I had all this cauliflower. Cauliflower digests 2 times slower than other vegetables. So you're weighing yourself and the cauliflower. These are all things that you don't know, but you'll become in tuned to them when you weigh yourself daily. And they won't bother you as much. You could just, say a few choice words to the scale and move on. And the next day, it'll drop if it's just a fluctuation. If it sticks, then we have to evaluate. But the fluctuations are always, always, always going to happen, no matter what, for the rest of your journey, they're always going to happen. And so I just kind of ended it with the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And so, the reason I kind of ended it with that is because you guys all know this is all mindset. And people that I've worked with that have been successful and then not been successful, struggling, I could literally see the mindset change. I could see the person go from, wow, I got this, to my metabolism's broke. I got to go get my thyroid checked. I have to go, you know, blah, blah, blah. You're falling into excuses then. So if this is something you want to do, it can happen, but it has to be done slowly, and it has to be done the right way. And really, patience is your biggest virtue. And in anybody that has lost weight could probably attest to that. It takes a lot of patience. It's so easy to throw in the towel and quit and surrender to the bowl of spaghetti and, you know, Cheez Whiz, but you will feel better about yourself if you maintain and you follow through with all of the things that I've taught you, and really look at changing your identity. That's the biggest piece of it all. And you'll know when your identity changes, because people will start making comments like, I'm surprised you're eating that. And when you're eating, you know, a piece of cake at your own birthday party, you know, that's like, oh, wow, everybody else thinks I'm healthy. That's good. That means you have changed you. So that's a big one. So questions, comments, reflections. I'm sure some of you have things to say being through the program or starting the program. Anybody?
I just wanted to say, I think there's something to be said about that going through the motions piece, because like, I mean, I have been religious. I think it says like 400 and some days that I have tracked every day, every meal, everything. But there's something to be said about like the last 2 days, I've been hyper vigilant about like, okay, what is it that I'm eating? And what is it that I'm tracking? And, you know, oh, it was okay that I was going over a couple hundred calories a day because my, you know, I've hit my goal or whatever. But now I'm really, the last 2 days, I've really taken a step back and I'm like, yeah, I'm not adding those Lily's chocolate chips to my afternoon snack, or those little, you know, those little things that add up that I wasn't probably even tracking every little bit. Now I'm like, okay, now I'm back to where I was before. And I'm really,
Yep.
yeah. And your mindset then changes too when you're more,
Yep.
yeah, it's
Well, and
amazing.
it's interesting hearing that from you too, because if you guys don't know Kelly, she's one of my ambassadors and lost how much? I've lost track.
Over 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, completely changed her body and life and everything. And just like everybody else, you know, we go up 5 pounds and we panic, and when you have to really stop and look at all of your behaviors, and I feel harsh sometimes when I tell people that, when I'm like, look, I need you to put everything on the food scale. It's not for me. It's for you to realize that, oh my gosh, this bowl of cherries is 300 calories. And yes, you should log those little pieces of chocolate. I had an interesting epiphany happen a couple weekends ago. We went up north to my husband's hometown in Ripon, and we stayed at a bed and breakfast, but it was unexpected. We were going to stay with his family. They have a bed and breakfast. So we stayed at the bed and breakfast and had no food. We brought nothing with us because we weren't going to stay there. So we're in this place with nothing, no crackers, no, I mean, you're usually somewhere, there's usually something, right? There's nothing. Can I tell you how starving I was? It was the kind of hunger I've never felt. And it's because I must eat more at home. I mean, why would I be that hungry there? But here I'm not. Well, you just saw me put a piece of gum in my mouth. I had who knows what a minute ago. Do you know what I mean? It's all those, it's slipping into those behaviors. And when I was at that house by myself, my husband went to a football game and I was like, literally like, there's like nothing in here to eat. There's never a time usually in anybody's life where you are foodless. I mean, you can always drive somewhere, drive through a drive-through, go into some cabinet and pull out something. There was nothing. And so it was an eye opener. I'm like, I bet you I eat more than I even realized myself. Just little bites. So it's paying attention to that. That's huge.
I think another one that you could even add to this is like no excuses. You know, one of the biggest things you told me today as your ambassador was like, I was like, oh, I'm having all these hormone issues and that could be why I'm up a couple of pounds. And you're like, have you not read my book? You know, have you not listened to my podcast? Like, no,
I wouldn't being mean. I was being
ridiculous.
nice. I'm like, have you not read my book?
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, I've read it twice, and
But
I think
see,
I listened to every
that's a perfect example. That is right there. And I actually completely forgot. I still have no brain cells from the race. I forgot about that conversation this morning. She did text me and she did say that she thinks her hormones are out of whack and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, right away, I was like, have you not read my book? Because in my book, I'm like, it is not your hormones. It is not your metabolism. You eat too much. I mean, not to be mean, but not that you're eating too much. You're just not paying attention to all the little, and I'm only speaking from my own experience. I mean, I am only, God knows how many, I laugh about this. I've taken 1,000 pregnancy tests in my life. I must be pregnant. No, I'm just eating too much, you know? But when you really start to nail it and pay attention, and then you start feeling how hungry you are when you are not adding those extra bites of almonds and, you know, a couple of Cheerios here and that adds up. It's calories. That's just, and the excuses, you're right. And we're all, it's just what we do. We fall into that, like what could be wrong. But that's where you have to rise above it and know that you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And you've done it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And it will happen again. I mean, the couple pounds will go down,
Yeah.
for sure.
And
I feel like I have control over it again. Like you
Yeah.
empowered me again. Like, okay, yeah, I can't use that as an excuse.
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
still it feels good.
Yeah, well, and truthfully, I think it's good that anybody loses weight, gains 5 pounds back. It keeps your guard up. I mean, it keeps you from playing with fire. I mean, I know that's how I've kept my weight off all these years because I've played with fire way too many times and gained it back that I'm like, you know, so yeah. Any other questions, reflections?
Tina, you look like you're gonna say something. You got your camera on. I'm calling you out.
Oh, I thought she hung up. I'm like, any new people?
No, she's such a brat, is what I said.
Any reflections from newer people? No. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I mean, it really was about mindset, behavior. You know, I have shifts of people, you know, the new people that are at the beginning stage of everything is perfectly measured, every chocolate chip. And then I call it, we get into the lazy stages where it's mindless. And that contributes to that frustration. And it's not the frustration that causes the failure. It's the loss of hope that causes the failure. So Kelly, you could easily have been like, I lost hope. I gained 5 pounds. I'm done. And you could have gone right back to your old behaviors, but you didn't because you're holding on to that. Like, I'm gonna fix this. And that's huge. That's huge. So cool. All right, you guys. No one's gonna talk? No. All right. Well, you guys have a good night.
Thank you. That was
Thank
great.
you.
All right, sounds good. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.